Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at Azamina Chaos. Now I've had like endless people just ask me what do you think about the Azamina build? Is it better than branded? Should we be playing this build? And like all these questions. So I thought, you know what? I'll just make a video and like showcase this deck. Now I am aware of this deck. I used to talk about it a lot, like maybe 5 months ago. And I used to say like this deck is like very, very good. It's very close to the branded build. So short answer, is it better than branded? No, branded is better. In the TCG, it's better by a small margin. Once we get the overframes and like the Beyond the Brave and all that stuff, like it's gonna be like branded's gonna be better by a far margin. I'm talking like 3 to 5 times better than this deck. It's just not gonna be like a competition between the two. But at the moment, I think it's very good. Like it can top just as well as branded can, but branded is just slightly better than this build. So what's my reasoning for this? So when I used to play this deck, okay, I did notice some differences between this and branded. First of all, the branded build can actually play more hand traps. So you can play Harmonia, which is a massive, massive card, okay? Regardless of what anyone tells you, Harmonia is one of the best cards in this deck. It's not just a hand trap that you can play and like recycle back and forth. It's actually a starter as well, because you send Lulu, and then in the end phase, you can summon your Ecclesia, and this is just full combo. You go into Crimson King, add Grifo, and blah, blah, blah. Also, it's a board breaker, so you can once you summon it, you spin it back with a mind shuffle back and forth, and then just keep like activating Harmonia and summoning it and destroying and sending Cloud Beast, and it just does insane stuff, right? It has tons and tons of value. So this is one of the best cards in the deck. Okay, this deck cannot play Harmonia because it plays fusions, right? It has to go into Sylvia, it has to go into Demod, and so on. So that's the first major difference. Now, once we get the overframes, it's gonna be like the margin will be even bigger because you can go normal summon, multiply, and Kribo, or just special summon, whatever. Just have it on the field. With the Harmonia, it's actually a starter as well because you can just use them to synchro 8 into the Crimson King, and then you can add your Gersh, or you can go into like the Ecclesia Synchro, tag into Albaz, used as a board breaker. You can still fuse under Harmonia, but you can't activate the fusion's effect, which usually doesn't actually matter. You go into Dogma, no effect, it's fine, it's still unaffected, and you fuse with your opponent's monsters. And then against decks like Cool Tune, they usually stack your deck. So with this, like this actually has a worse matchup, believe it or not, against Cool Tune because they can stack your deck with like Fua, Droll, Ash, just like these horrible cards, like multiple Seekers. If you already have one, they stack another one because they get to look at your hand, obviously. And then what that means is like you have like a very low chance of winning because they already know your entire hand, and it's easy to play through like that Bellstar and stuff like that with Cool Tune. With the branded build, you actually can play Harmonia, which can send the again Lulu. Lulu shuffles your deck. Okay, so because it shuffles your deck, they don't know what you're gonna draw. So you will have an extra card which is unknown to your opponent, which could be like the difference between winning and losing. And it happens a lot. Like you guys have seen my replays. Like you can top deck something crazy. You can top deck like a Super Poly, Forbidden Crown, whatever. So Harmonia, first of all, that's the major like difference. First of all, that makes branded better. The second thing is the fact that we have like access to the Pharah play consistently with the branded build, because Albaz can summon and then go into the 3 Brave Sword Souls, add the Pharah, and then you can make a play where you go 3 Brave Sword Souls, pop your own Mind Shuffle, and then add this back with the Ritual Spell, and then go Pharah, reveal Mind Shuffle. This is way better than Sylvia because and better than just any Omni Negate, because the Sylvia can get impermed, it can still get dropleted, it can get crowned. There's a lot of cards that can stop the Sylvia, right? And then that means they can just destroy Mind Shuffle with like Ogre, Fallen Virtues, whatever. If you go for this play, this is gonna give it like a super poly effect where it's a spell speed 4. You cannot respond to Mind Shuffle. So this is the best like thing in the game, where you can't like respond to your opponent activating back and forth Mind Shuffle, and it's going to be insanely hard to out. Okay, so if you compare like Sylvia just being able to protect your Mind Shuffle versus Pharah Reveal, Pharah is like infinitely better. It's not even close, right? And if you go Sylvia, they can still like Nib because this deck plays into Nib. So if they Nib, you have to go Sylvia, and then this is still like, you know, prone to just getting destroyed now. Yeah, so Pharah, insanely powerful. I still play this in this deck because there's actually a way you can still get to Pharah, although you need like multiple cards, like a 3-card combo or so, because You have to go Firewall and then put Zena under Firewall, and then you can add back your Pharah, and then you can uh, send the Mind Shuffle to the grave with like the Diabellstar, and then you can just add it back and reveal it with the Pharah. It's like it's super, you need like multiple different cards to actually make this combo. It's not consistent at all, but it's still very good to play Pharah in this deck because you can go what is it? The Deception, and then tribute this, and this will actually trigger to revive itself back as well. And you can like reveal multiple cards that will make this a lot better. So I do like the Pharah a lot. So that's the second thing, and then the third thing is that Branded can search your hand trap. So when you play Nibiru, Harmonia, Chaos Hunter, whatever, you can actually search them with Granganol Line because you can just dump them into the grave, and then the Fallen Virtue survives them in the end phase. Mind Shuffle spins them back on the opponent's turn, and you can just recycle the Harmonia, right? You just have it in your hand and gain 2 interruptions off this. And the Branded actually plays better into hand traps because if they stop, like what people say is like, this plays better into hand traps. It does, but the difference between this and Branded is this, okay, it can eat hand traps. The other one actually plays through the hand traps. The difference is this build, like they actually get stopped, right? You can like imperm Diabellstar and then you go into like this gets ashed, you actually get stopped. With the Branded build, like you play through them because although like they can imperm the Ecclesia Synchro, for example, Ecclesia Synchro is an interruption on the opponent's turn anyway, right? So you already got your interruption, and they're stopping further interruptions. And then you also dump Albion for cost, which means Albion is gonna be an interruption no matter what in the end phase. Okay, so you still have these interruptions, and the ceiling with this deck is slightly higher than Branded, just slightly, because Branded puts up a lot of interruptions. It's just the difference between the interruptions, because you can go Albaz Fuse into Mirror Jade, Dogma, Unaffected, Shuffle 2 back, or, Mirror Jade, non-targeting Banish, nuke the field in the end phase. You have like Fallen Virtuous to pop. There's a lot of different stuff. But they're not Omni Negates, okay? With this, you can get Dragoon plus Sylvia Omni Negates. And the quality of the interruptions with this is slightly better than Branded, okay? But yeah, you can search your hand traps, basically. That's the point I'm trying to make. And the other thing is, Chaos Cats does actually have a lot of value in this deck. And I do respect this because with this deck, okay, although like Branded is better than this deck at the moment until we get the overframes. Sorry, it's better than this deck by a small margin until we get the overframes, and then it becomes like a huge margin difference. Branded being better. This deck is trying to achieve what Curtain and Dark Magician does for the deck after we get the overframes, because it plays through like hand traps by going Seeker in the draw phase. You get to access this. If they hand trap it, you can go demod immediately. The Dark Magician stuff does exactly that, and you slap the Dark Magician stuff on top of the Branded stuff, and that's like the Branded build post overframe supports. Because you can go Curtain the draw phase, summon OG Dark Magician, you can play Multiplying Karibo, which can also summon Dark Magician, and then it's going to be like a turn 0 interruption as well. Tag in, tag out, right? Then you can summon Dragoon in the draw phase if you want to like negate hand traps. You can make this Link climbing whatever if you want. You can definitely like fit that in a Branded build, but you have to sacrifice like High Spirits and a couple of things. So like the Branded build is infinitely better. You cannot play you cannot really fit Dark Magician in this once we get the overframes, because first of all it doesn't contribute as much because it's already this is doing what Dark Magician is gonna be doing. You will have to cut. Let's say you play 3 Multiplying Karibo, okay? You have to cut these 3 because you have no room, and then you have to cut 1 additional card for Dark Magician, and then cut 2 to 3 cards for Curtain. And if you want to cut something else to play like this, so it doesn't go over 44, that's also another card to consider. You might want to play Rod as well. You basically have no room for hand traps. Okay, the Branded build actually does, in addition to having all of this, right? So that's one of the major differences as well. Now, as for the good things about this deck, I think this deck has tons of pushes, right? Branded also has a lot of pushes, but its pushes are not as strong as this one, and that's the major difference. Branded's more so hand trap focused. It's like a mid-range kind of deck. This is it plays through multiple different hand traps, and going second actually has a much higher chance of actually breaking the opponent's board. So there's a very cool play I like about this deck, which is what initially brought me to the deck 5 months ago. It's the fact that you can go Mind Shuffle, discard the Diabell Star, which you can just like set a wanted, and then you can use this on the opponent's turn to add the Diabell Star. Then you can just discard it with the Mind Shuffle. This actually triggers in the grave once it's sent to the grave by the Mind Shuffle on the opponent's turn. And it's gonna send a card from your hand or field to the grave and then summon itself. So you can actually send Archfiend, for example. You can send any other like dead spell. You can send like the Deception, which sets itself back in the end phase, and then summon this, and that's gonna be a level 7 that you can spin back and forth. So if you weren't able to establish a level 7, this gives you that, okay? And this is very good. I really like this about the deck. And this is basically doing what Farah is doing, except it's slightly worse because Farah is actually an interruption once it summons itself. This isn't, but very, very good that you can make that play. And there's like multiple different things where like you can like pitch like the ritual spell, pitch Archfiend, and then you can go like Swordman. They negate it. You pitch the ritual spell. You add back the Swordman. You can use it again. So there's like very cool plays you can make with this deck. Again, has more pushes. And I'm going to be showing you this today in today's video. That's enough yappery for me today. So, yeah. And then the reason, if you're not aware of why I'm playing these, is because you can basically, if you open the Belstar, you can basically start bridging into your stuff. You go D-Mod, and then you grab Souls, dump the Swordman, and then you can go into like Cross Sheep, Anima with this, and then you can go into like your other stuff. Now, I did cut the Protect Code Talker because it just never came up, to be honest. But ideally, you'd cut the IP Masquerade here, and then you would play the Protect Code Talker, okay? Now, I played a lot of duels, and not one of these duels I actually felt like I needed Protect Code Talker. But to actually do the real one-card combo, you should be playing this card, okay? So I'm just going to add this here in case you want to copy the deck, so you know what you should look like. And yeah. That's pretty much it. Also, I am playing Celtic Sage, and I'm playing Gaze of Demise. I do think you should be playing Dragoon with Gaze of Demise in this deck. Regardless of what anyone says, this is like insanely powerful. It makes like the ceiling better, and also you can push through a lot more and stop more hand traps. You guys are gonna see in the replays. And then I do play the Celtic Sage, which I think some people are not playing because I don't know why. I think it's very good to play, especially with Chaos Angel, because you can make this with Archfiend. And then additionally, you can also go like Diabellstar with Ash Blossom or Bell to actually also make Chaos Angel, because this is one tuner plus one tuner light or dark. You guys are used to summoning with, just light or darks without a tuner, but if you want to actually summon it properly, you can use one of these plus Diabellstar. So that's also like a very cool thing that you can do. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Also, this deck can brick sometimes because it's not like a brick. It's more so like you have too many starters, which is an issue that I initially noticed with the deck, which brought me, away from the deck and made me play Branded, because Branded doesn't actually have that issue. Because if you open multiple Diabell Stars, they're not really doing anything. If you open like Double Seeker and then Diabell Stars, they're just not really doing anything. And you have to play like these two bricks. Technically, you can not play Gaze, but I think this is like highly recommended that you should be playing this. But if you don't consider this, this is a brick on its own, and then this requires a monster. Usually you do have a monster, but in the case where you don't, or you don't want to like tribute your hand traps because that's all you have, it can be quite bad because you have to like tribute your hand trap and then they like negate it. Can be quite annoying, right? But this has lots of value because you can tribute Farah, revive it, you can tribute the Archfiend, and so on. And yeah, that is enough yappery for me. So let's hop into some replays and show you how good the deck is. So we are going to start off with Vanquish K9. Alright, so this guy is playing just like a pure Vanquish K9 build with Shifter in the main deck. Okay. So in the draw phase, we're going to go Seeker to play around Joel. Now, look at my hand here. This is what I'm talking about. We already have the Deception, unfortunately, and then we had double Seeker. That means I have no plays. If like this gets stopped, I can go D-Mod, and then if D-Mod gets stopped, I have no plays. Branded has multiple different cards. Like if you open double Albaz, you can still like activate Albaz to send the Albion, and then if they you summon it, and then you can choose not to activate anything, right? Then I can normal summon like Ecclesia or Cartesian. I can still Synchro if they stop it, right? If they like Impermanent or whatever. So you do still you're still able to play like with the multiple different cards, but this has like multiple Seekers. You can't activate multiple Seekers, right? So we're gonna dump the Seeker, summon the Diabell Star. His hand's also insane. He has like the perfect counter to our deck because this deck actually plays really badly into Fua. You'll have to give them 0 draws, well 1 draw at least for Sylvia, and then it might not be enough interruptions unless you have hand traps. So yes, Fua, Sacred Soul, Kiss of Canine, Fallen and the Virtuous, and Izuna. That is very powerful. Now we have not turned on the Izuna just yet. So let's see what happens. So we're going to go into Demod, and then we are going to search the souls. We're going to activate this. He goes full loss. Okay. So we contribute the Demod, go for this. Now I'm going to activate souls. This actually turns on his canine. Izuna. We're going to dump the Swordman, and then he is going to activate the Izuna. Now my thought process here was this is bad because like I can wait for him to dump Lupus and then bell it, but the issue is then he will have access to Lupus, so he can just like summon it back from the grave if I activate anything from the hand, and then he can Xyz into Ripper and just like probably kill me after that. So I need to actually stop the Lupus being milled to begin with, which means I have to use the Crown, even though I didn't want to. I have to. So we're going to stop this with the Crown, and then we go Souls to draw 1. Now, this deck has also, like, decent amount of, like, draw power, which I also really like, because you can see, like, we drew 1 with the Souls, and then we can draw 1 with the Wanted as well. Now, the Dark Magician build with, like, the brand itself can also have, like, this draw plus the Celtic Sage, draw 6, so you can draw up to 7, plus Cross Sheep, draw up to 9 cards. And if you play, what do you call it, the Saryuja, you can draw 13 cards. Which is disgusting, I know. But yeah, so this is like a huge difference as well with this deck. You can play Saryuja in this deck. You can play Zelantis. There's a lot of things. You could play Zelantis to like recycle this effect after you use it if you want. Otherwise, you can play Saryuja to draw into like your other stuff, but it's not really needed in this deck. I don't think you need to be playing Saryuja. So we draw into Ash, which is good. We're going to give him 1 draw, send this to the grave, summon the Sylvia. He draws into another stake, and then he top decks East Caesar. Okay. So this forces him to go into the battle phase because we summoned Sylvia. I couldn't summon like the, what do you call it, this, because we're under 4, and then also I already used the Seeker. So that's not really a play I can make. His hand, because he drew into a monster, this actually turns on his stake. Because I would have ashed the Case of Canine, I'm not gonna lie. So you can see like, I actually do ash it here. And then he goes stake. So he would have ended his turn here if he didn't draw the Caesar, but that's, yeah, just quite unfortunate. So we're going to have to bell this, because this tells me he's desperate. He actually needs that to activate his Holy Sue. And then he goes Fallen the Virtuous on the Magician's Souls, and then sets the stake, and then goes Fallen the Virtuous here. So what does he have? He can still add back this, and then summon the Holy Sue, but he will only have... he will only have an Earth in the hand, which means he can't actually reveal anything. But yeah, he just has no interruptions besides the Fallen Virtuous right now. Because if he summons this, there's, yeah, just nothing basically except Fallen Virtuous. So let's see what happens. So top deck Droll, that's horrible, because if we top deck something good, we could have actually won, but unfortunately, we just don't have anything here. Okay, let's go to game 2. So once again, we are going first. So we are going to activate the Black Chaos. He goes Izuna immediately. We're going to chain Full Loss. I was going to chain Full Loss regardless, because I know he's on Vanquish Canine. So if he summons Holy Sue, summon from deck, I will get a draw. If he goes Izuna and then Lupus into like one of these, I will also draw a card. So it's just definitely worth it to go Fua. So he goes Ash on the Mind Shuffle. So you can see I actually did not start with the Deception because I actually want him to Ash here. Now, he ashed nothing, because usually it's not good to ash the Skull Archfiend. It's better to ash the Mind Shuffle, because this still mills the Ritual Spell for cost, so you still get to access this. So I wanted him to think that I don't actually have a way to access Chaos besides this, which he did actually take the bait, he ashed it, and now I contribute this and make my full combo as if I had, searched with the Mind Shuffle. And then we also get to Sylvia, like, on top of that. So here's the thing. He doesn't want to go Lupus because he will give me a draw if he does. And he has a bell as well, so he bells my Ritual Spell. Now let's see how I play through that. So I go Sacred Azamina, we're going to summon this. And then we are going to add the Seeker, we're going to go for the Archfiend, shuffle back, and then summon itself. and we can link to SP. This actually checks his Lupus now, because I'm gonna banish this, which means if he doesn't Lupus now, this is gonna be banished. This is gonna be turned off. You can only go into Typhon, which Typhon doesn't really do that much here. He doesn't even play Typhon. Okay, fair enough. And if he chains, I go SP on this. This still gets banished, and then this does not come back in the end phase because it was summoned from the grave. You can see it says banished when it leaves the field. So that's why I don't target the Lupus. So you can see he actually chains. We're gonna banish. Now we go Sacred Azamina, put this back, add itself back, and then we can chain the Seeker. If you are not aware, you should be, because like this deck is super old. The reason we do this is because you can get double value off this. You activate Secret to add, and then you can send it to the grave on resolution. And then we summon the Sylvia, and then we can go 1 to Seeker, draw 1, we draw into the Archfiend. Okay. So, I mean the Black Chaos. So here, what I do is I actually dump the Magician of Black Chaos, because although he negated my ritual spell, I can still put this up because we drew into this, right? So dump it, because I'm going to shuffle it back to summon the Black Chaos, and we can set another Wanted Seeker. Go into Demod, and then we are going to add a Gaze of Timaeus, and now we can shuffle this back, summon Black Chaos, and we can set and pass. And then SP comes back, you can see his Lupus is going to be stay banished, it's not going to come back. So through his Ash, Bell, Izuna, three hand traps, we are able to put up Sylvia, Dragoon, we have Droll, we have this to banish, that's 4 interruptions, and then we also have Luster, because we can just spin this back, 5 interruptions, and then we can also have a, yeah, that's basically it, 5 interruptions, 2 of them being Omni Negates, and then like we still have our unaffected stuff, so this is very insane. We basically hand looped him for 3 cards. So immediately we're gonna go for this. If he chains like Fall on the Virtuous to pop this or whatever, we have a Sylvia to negate. Summon the Dragoon, and then we can activate this, and this is gonna give us the discard for the Dragoon. Additionally, what I can do is I can, if I discard this to the grave, I can actually revive it to have another level 7 to spin back for my Mind Shuffle, right? So I'm gonna actually make that play here. I'm going to discard the Archfiend, add Luster, and then we keep this in the hand for Dragoon. And yeah, he just surrenders here. Okay. So let's see game 3. So he is going first this time. Let's see his hand. He has a Vanquish Soul Starter. He has Droll, Ash, Case of Canine, and Solemn Strike. Okay. I choose not to activate Ash Blossom because I don't... If he has like a Izuna in hand, it's going to turn on his Izuna. That's the first thing. Second thing is the Vanquish Soul Canine deck is super bricky. There's a chance he's relying on me actually ashing this so that he can actually play the game with the Izuna. So I actually choose not to activate Ash. I hold the Ash, and you can see he doesn't have any place because I held the Ash. He had Izuna, and then he just like passes here. So he has Droll, Ash, Solemn Strike, and Izuna. So he still ends on 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions. One of them being a huge floodgates. So let's see what we do. In the draw phase, we're going to activate this to play around Droll. We're going to add a Diabellstar, and then we're going to go Grifo. He Solemn Strikes the Grifo. Okay. So now what we can do is, watch this, okay? We go Corrupted Ritual first, in case he has Droll. And then he has Droll, okay? So we are going to activate Black Chaos. He goes Izuna here, which is fine. And then we are going to Ash it, so he doesn't go into Lupus. And now we can send, look at this. We sent the Ritual spell to the grave. Because he Ashed the Grifo, I never had access to like my Archfiend to get the Ritual spell in grave, and now we're under Joel, so I actually just dump this with the Diabellstar, which is something like Branded does not have access to. So I can just still add back, and you guys are going to see, like, we are going to set here first, and then we are going to go Ritual Fight in Dark, add back the Grifo, watch this play. We go normal Grifo, go into Anima, suck him up, and then we can go into SP, Banish, and we can pass. So now we're going to... Okay, I was attempting to make a very cool play here, but he had Ash Blossom. I hate Ash Blossom. It's just such a horrible card for the game, because it's ruining really good matches, right? This would have been like an insane play I would have made here, because I was attempting to add the Diabellstar, and then I go Mind Shuffle, add Luster, discard the... what do you call it? The Diabellstar, and then Diabellstar can send the Ritual Spell to the grave to summon itself, and now I can actually tag in into Luster by spinning it back to the hand and banish a card they control. Also, once I summon it, I can actually trigger its effect to also set from the deck, so I still have like follow-up for the next run. So that would have been a very insane play, putting me at 3 interruptions. But because he stopped it, we only have Ash and a SP, which should be enough here. So he top deck Grayson. Okay. So he's gonna not activate the effect because he would just get banished here. And then I'm going to add and then get access to my Black Chaos. Now, why did I do this here? Because if he had like a hand drop to stop the mind shuffle here, what would have happened is he would chain like a hand drop or Fallen the Virtuous or whatever, and then I can chain the SP to this. Yeah. So he's gonna activate the starter. We're just gonna ash it here. So okay. By the way, I should mention I added Grifo and I normal summoned Grifo last turn. Alternatively, I could have normal summoned Ash, went to Chaos Angel to out the cards, but SP is a better play. Because it's also going to be an interruption on the opponent's turn, and I get to keep my Ash. Okay. He's going to scoop because on the following turn, he would just lose. Nice. Now let's watch this one against Red Eye. There's been a lot of Droll and Lockbirds. It's been, really like a Droll fest for some reason. So let's watch what I do here. So I go Souls Dump Black Chaos, and then I send it to the grave to summon. So this actually establishes this in the grave, so I can just use it whenever or make further plays if I get like hand trapped. And you don't want to like just send it from the grave for free. So we are going to set the Deception, and then we're going to activate Deception. Look at this, okay? Because I already have Gaze, I make a very good play to play around Droll, okay? I I actually don't have any targets because I only play one Souls, one Gaze, so I can't search with this. I did not mean to do this. I think I meant to actually like this is a misclick, I think. I meant to do something else. What was it? Oh yeah, I meant to activate Deception to tribute this and then chain the Gaze of Demise. So immediately I was like, oh shit. So it's fine. It's not like the biggest deal. But that means I have to like tribute something else, which is quite annoying. So I go into Dragoon now to play around his Droll. And then we can go for this, draw 3. Nice. We draw into the Archfiend, and then we also get a Diabellstar. He goes Droll and Lockbird. We're going to negate it by discarding the Black Chaos. And then we are going to add a Luster. Look at this. Go Light and Darkness Ritual, add back the Black Chaos. We're going to activate Black Chaos, put the Mind Shuffle, and then we can activate the Archfiend. Shuffle back the Black Chaos and the Souls. Summon it. I can go into Chaos Angel if I want to, but I choose to tribute this instead to add the Saint Azamina. I can only summon from the extra deck once right now because I use this after I went into Demod and Dragoon. So we're not actually locked into anything. That's why I made that play first. So we're going to go into Sylvia. Now we are locked out of the extra deck, so I can summon the Black Chaos with this instead. You can see I discarded the Ritual Spell. I don't need it. We can add back the Gaze of Demise. This is going to be my discard for Dragoon, and now we can pass. So we end on Black Chaos plus Luster, tag in, tag out. And then Dragoon negate, Sylvia negate, and then we also have a Droll and Lockbird, so that is quite solid here. He top decks another Droll. He goes for this. I actually just let that go through because in the case where he has talents, it's gonna get exchanged anyway. There's no reason for me to negate it because it's just gonna turn on his talent for free, right? This is gonna leave the field regardless. So he goes Lubellion. I let that go through, and then he goes for a Bestial immediately. So because he went Bestial, I am going to just let that go through. I'm gonna Droll him. So now he's under Droll. I can just spin this back and then banish the Regained. The issue with Regained is it gives him a lot of value, and I don't want that. So he basically just can't do anything here. So he goes into the Typhon to spin back. That's completely fine. I kept the Dragoon. So we summon Black Chaos, and then we're going to add back a Ritual Spell, and then he has to pass. Okay, so yeah, he still has a Droll. How many Drolls does he have? He already Drolled me once and it failed, then he top decked a Droll. Okay. So, okay, I'm not thinking he has Droll here, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go Fallen the Virtuous, get rid of him, and then we add this back, go Deception, go Mind Shuffle, Search, and then we are going to get Drolled here. Okay, that's fine. We still have game, I think, so we go Luster, spin back, summon the Luster, so I can just go Ritual Spell, summon this, add a spell back, and then we can also go into Sylvia, and this is just game, yeah. We have tons of damage here. Add back the Deception, and then add back Celtic Sage. And then go into Chaos Angel. This is just BM at this point. And yeah, that is just game. So let's see game 2. Okay, so this was actually a longer game. It got dragged out. So this says if this card's in your hand, you can special summon this card in defense. Then if Max Metalmorph is not in your grave, your opponent can special summon one monster from the hand. So I thought for a bit, should I do this or not? The reason I did it is because he has to out this, and if he outs it, it's gonna get like trigger in the grave, and if it triggers in the grave, I win because of the swordman. Just summon banish 2 GG. And then it also immediately activates my Chaos Hats. So now my Chaos Hats is going to be live on my turn if he doesn't out it. So he has to go SP to banish it, which he does play SP. But aside from SP, there is no way to actually like get rid of this. He also plays Anima. Okay. But I put this here. Always play around Anima. So he goes Flame Coating Metalmorph. He goes for this. I choose not to Ash because I know he has this now. So save the Ash for the Flame. I feel like any card called Flame, you just always save the Ash for that. Draco Tail Flame, Metal Morph. Okay, so he's not going to be able to out my Archfiend, which means my Chaos Hats is live immediately. So he actually drew randomly to Ash, which is insane. So he has Ash Blossom, Max Metalmorph, Imperm, Flame Metalmorph, and then he also has this to spin something back. And then he can summon from the deck. I don't know if that's going to be any good. And then he can also draw a random card. Could be a hand trap. So around like 4 to 5 interruptions. So we top deck a Seeker, which is good. So we are immediately going to activate Seeker. He chains Flame. We are going to Ash this. Nice. We had some good Ash discipline here, just saving the Ash. But he has a Max Metamorph as well. So we are going to dump the Ritual Spell here. And then we are going to summon the Diabell Star. So I was checking for Imperm here, but he does actually have Imperm. You can see I'm playing around Imperm, just don't put it in this column, always. So he goes for Max. Now I choose to go for this. He had to chain this to spin this back to the hand, but he didn't. And if he spun it back to the hand, I can summon it from hand. I contribute it to the Deception. There's a lot of things to do. I was anticipating him doing that, but he didn't. So this actually gives me crazy value. Okay, so he gets to pop my Cold Buy, and then we are going to just flip this up, and then banish to go into Demod to see if he has Imperm for the second time, and he does. So he goes Imperm on this. Nice. And then he chains Heavenly to spin this back. I feel like he should have done this like earlier. I don't know why he didn't, but okay. Then he goes into Albaz to fuse with the Demon to go into Mirror Jade, banish. That's completely fine. Then he gets to draw a card, draw into Bestial. That's insane. So, it's better to use this from the hand than the grave, which is why I don't go Deception to Tribute, just in case he had a Bestial in hand, which he did, right? So we played around this. So now we contribute the Deception. Now he goes Ash Blossom. Okay. Now everything is out of the way. Now I can actually play the game. So we can go Black Chaos, put the Mind Shuffle. We have to play around the Imperm column. Don't forget that. So go Ritual Spell, add back the Celtic Sage, normal Celtic, draw 3. And now we draw into Chaos Hats and a Souls. Nice. Tribute, summon the Black Chaos, add back Seeker, banish this face down. This is the way you usually out Mirror Jade. You should always go into this instead of Blackluster because it banishes face down and it doesn't trigger. So we're going to mill the Farah, and then we're going to summon the Souls to draw 1. We draw into Diabell Star, we go into the Anima to make room for Chaos Hats, and we are going to pass. Set the Deception in the end phase, he gets to add a Wyvern, sure, okay. So we're going to go Mind Shuffle to add, we are going to discard the Diabell, and then we can summon the Diabell Star. I'll also chain the Seeker, because I can send the Seeker if I want. But I choose to send the Anima instead because it's a 0 attack. I don't want him to like randomly summon like a Psychic End Punisher or something and destroy me. So just being extra cautious. We're gonna summon the Luster. I think we banished the Regained because it's just really annoying him having like drawing infinite cards and summoning every 2 seconds. So he targets this. We spin it back. I did this so that he can target this, but he still targeted the Luster for some reason. Because if he targeted this, it would turn on my Chaos Hats. So yeah, we can just spin this back now. Add a Cold by the Grave. He is going to summon Farah, which now he can actually attack over my Black Chaos. So you need to tag out into Black, lost a Soldier, and now he can't take control. Goes into Striker, triggers this, add as a Red Eyes. Goes Meteor, Dragon, adds a Red Eyes Fusion, which he cannot use because he already normal and special summoned. So he goes IP into the Mechanites. So this, let's actually read this card. So while this Link monster is on the field, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. Also, their monsters cannot target monsters for attack except this one. And it also cannot be destroyed by card effects because of Masquerena. So it's super insanely hard to out because these cannot actually out it. If this tries to attack, he's going to gain attack with the secondary effect. He gains attack equal to the Luster's attack, so he's going to be 6k during the damage step. And then if I out it and it goes to the grave, you can shuffle 1 card on the field, non-targeting. And yeah, this is just super hard out. But Swordman just destroys this. So as long as I survive, keep Swordman, we win. Okay, so we take 3k, and then he is gonna have to pass. So he has a Druid's Worm, uses it immediately. I'm gonna spin this back because it's end phase now. Summon the Black Chaos. And yeah, look at this. So now we can just banish the Druid's Worm face down. Flip up the Corrupted Ritual in case he has a hand trap, which I actually know his entire hand, so there's just, yeah, no way he has another interruption that I don't know about, because I basically know everything now. So we're gonna shuffle back some Black Chaos, banish 2, and GG. Nice, good game. Now let's watch this one against Orcust's Horus. So he is going first. He's gonna go into the Mech Knight. You can see like most of these duels, we actually don't have any like turn 0 interruptions. We might have hand traps, but no turn 0 interruptions, right? The best thing about Brand Chaos is like you can establish like your stuff on turn 0, and you can get interruptions while doing so, and then you can set up a Swordman. Once you set up a Swordman play, you can win the duel. So he is going to just open everything. This is quite insane. I'm not gonna lie. He also has like Imperm Ash on top of this. Okay, and then he's gonna take control of his token. He goes IP and passes. So we have to play through a climax, which is an Omni Negate that I cannot respond to because it's a counter trap. And then he has Imperm, 2 interruptions. He has this with SP, this 4 interruptions. Take control, 5 interruptions. Ash, 6. He can revive this to send something, 7 interruptions, and then I think he can like trigger this, which is gonna make it hard to actually like attack over his cards. I don't know if he has the extra interruption of like summoning the other card that pops as well. He's currently on 7 interruptions. He does not play it, but he plays this, which could be an 8th interruption as well. This can he summon this? I think he can, yeah, because he can go into the world. Where's the world? World is not here. Okay, I think he can like mill it or something. He has a way to, I think, access it to summon it. So like up to 8 interruptions. Okay, damn. Against my 5-card hand. Let's see what we can do. Immediately activate Fallen Virtuous to out this because SP is a problem here. So this will force out his Crescendo, which it doesn't. He doesn't actually use it. Okay, he lost 2 interruptions off this. So now I can activate Black Chaos. I was attempting to force him to like activate Climax because if he does, I go Diabell Star, send this, and I can add back the Black Chaos with the Ritual Spell and activate it to place Mind Shuffle again. Because this is not once per turn, right? So look at this. I place Mind Shuffle. I play around Ash here. So I choose not to activate because of the Climax. I would first want to check if it's Ash or not. Usually if this was turn 1, I would chain the Mind Shuffle to my own card. So we're going to add Luster Soldier immediately. And then he does not Ash my Corrupted Ritual. I think he's saving it for the Mind Shuffle. So now look at this play that I made. I added Luster because I already have an established Mind Shuffle. So if he activates like this to steal this, I can just spin it back, immediately summon Luster, and then force out the Crescendo. Now, if we read Crescendo, it says when a spell or a trap card or monster effect is activated while controlling Orcust Link monster, negate the activation if you banish that card. This does not say spell or trap effect. It only says the card itself. So this is already face up on the field, which means he cannot negate this. This is the good thing about Black Chaos, because it places it face up. Versus Gurifo, which sets it, which means you have to activate it. Gurifo will play around things like Ogre, but it cannot play around things like this. Cards that negate the activation of a spell or trap. Swordman does, okay? So this is why, like, it usually depends on like what the opponent has, whether you want to search Black Chaos versus Grifo, okay? So he goes Impermanence on the Diabell Star. So now he actually fell into my play. So we can just spin him back, and then, or her back, summon Luster Soldier, and now we can force out the Crescendo. This is unaffected by Crescendo. Okay, nice, banish it, and then he goes Symbol Skeleton. We are going to add here, and then he goes Ash. This was very unfortunate because I was attempting to add a Black Chaos. If he hadn't went for this immediately, I was going to go Ritual Spell, add this back, and then at any point, if he activates this, or the, what do you call it, the Symbol Skeleton, I can just spin this back, summon Swordman, unaffected, banish 2, right? So that would have just been absolutely devastating for him. So he goes for this immediately. I just let this go through. He had Ash, which means I can't go Black Chaos. Otherwise, you chain summon Black Chaos, add back like Fallen the Virtuous, and then we can just do some stuff with that, right? So we are going to activate this, go Deception, tribute the Diabell Star, add a Sacred Azamina. We are going to send the Seeker that is face down so that we can get to draw one. We are going to. Okay, I was thinking, should I go Sylvia or Arcelago here? Um, okay, so I can't attack over him because he has the Nightmare, which can activate in the damage step, and then it targets my Blackluster, which means I cannot attack over his monsters. I can't be destroyed by battle, but this I cannot out, so this will still be on the field. So I was thinking, should I go Sylvia? Um, I don't think it would have mattered if I went into Sylvia. Yeah, so I would be able to negate this, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference at all. So I'm going to add here, and I'm going to attempt to attack over this, so he can activate this card, and he does. And now we can go Black Chaos, place the Match and we can go End Phase, set Fall in the Virtuous, and pass. Okay. So now we can go immediately into Mind Shovel, discard the Diabell Star, and then we can chain this to pop the Enlil Gerso. Now, what this is going to do is I'm going to have two level 7s. So if he chains this in the graveyard, because now it's a quick effect, right? To send a card I control to the grave, I can actually spin both of them back. So we're going to set this for next turn, and then wait for him to do something. So he goes into the dark, we're going to spin back the Luster. Yep, and now he does chain it, so now we can just spin back this again, chain the Mind Shuffle again. This is not once per turn, not even once per chain. You can just keep activating this infinitely. And then you can summon your Lust Soldier again. So this forced out his Enlil Gerso. The issue was if he went Battle Phase to attack over this, I would not be able to make that play, right? And I would have to spin back my card, and then I'm in a bad spot here. So he just gets the Gersu, alright. Insane. So he mills nothing for me, just hand traps, and then he is gonna summon these, but he has to go SP to banish this here. Because I know he doesn't have a card to actually get rid of this. He needs SP. If he goes SP, banish this, I have another turn, and this deck is super grindy. So on the following turn, I would most likely win. So he is going to go into the Lingursu. None of these target, so they don't actually work on Luster. This doesn't target either, so he's going to recycle the Crescendo, and then he is going to go SP banish this. And now this is going to trigger my Corrupted Ritual, because if we read Corrupted Ritual, this doesn't come up that often, but it can sometimes. So if we read this right here, if a face-up ritual monster you control leaves the field by card effect while this card is in your grave, and you do not control any face-up monsters other than ritual monsters, you can add this back to your hand. So another way you can actually trigger this is if you have like a only Black Chaos on the field, you go Ritual Spell, Tribute the Black Chaos to summon Luster. This is also going to trigger, because now you only have like a Ritual monster, right? So you can just add this back, and then you can use its effects after you add it back and like continue playing. It doesn't come up that often, but it's just a good thing to know in case of like weird game states. So end phase set the Deception. Now we have a full loss as well. So immediately Ecclesia Synchro is gonna out his Crescendo. Again, like this is why Branded is so good. Like you have much more easy access to like all of these, like this plus Albion, all of that with like the Branded stuff than this deck. But this deck you can see like is very powerful still. So we are gonna force out the Crescendo, and then we can go put this back so I can go into the Sylvia immediately. Yep. And then we can chain the Wanted Seeker. All he has here is the SP plus this, and then you can see his grave. He actually doesn't have anything except, where's it? This to summon, okay? If I out one of his cards, these are going to trigger. So I actually need to out these. So what I want to do is go into Swordman. So we're going to summon Sylvia for this, so we can negate it, and then we can go Corrupted Ritual, add the Swordman. And then he goes SP. I actually let that go through. This doesn't matter, because now this is going to come back in the end phase. I go Archfiend, shuffle back the SP Little Knight. So we go Mind Shuffle, add back, get the Archfiend, and Grave. We already have double Ritual, so the Luster is banished. Yep, he banished banished it with the SP last turn. And then we already have this, so this doesn't trigger. I just want it in Grave, and then I can trigger it after. So we're going to Ritual Summon immediately to out the Mech Knight here. So we're going to go add back Called by the Grave. This is going to check his the Link 1. Is this even a Link 1? Yeah, okay. I was like, where's the arrows? It's a Link 0, what the hell? So we don't want to banish this just yet, because it's going to trigger these. The Happy is a huge issue if it triggers, because he has hand traps in the grave. He can add back Ash Blossom and Bell, right? And I don't want that to happen, so we're going to activate the Ritual Spell, add back, summon the Black Witch, and then go into Demod. And now we can go into the Gaze of Demise, and then he wants to take control. This is completely fine, because I was forcing him to do that. what would happen here is like if he doesn't, I can just get this engraved. I can like normal Fua link. Let's see, or extra deck. So we have Cross Sheep, we have SP, we have lots of like cards, Masquerina, whatever. Link 2, and then we can go gaze on this in the graveyard. And then if he attempts to take control, we just trigger the Mind Shuffle to summon Black Chaos. That's why we keep it in the hand, right? And then Black Chaos without these. This ensures that I don't have to activate the Black Chaos effect to like shuffle back to summon. Because I don't want to link off my Black Chaos, right? So that I can make that play. So we force him out. Now we can banish these two. This triggers, and this is gonna basically I keep this on the field. So if he triggers it, I spin this back, summon Black Chaos, and then I can link it off, and then use this effect to summon it again and banish 2 more cards because this is not once per turn. Okay, the banish effect. So he outs this, which is completely fine. Now we can banish this face down. We trigger the Archfiend, shuffle back Luster, and now we can link with this to get the Luster. And now we can go into the Black Chaos. Shuffle back the Black Chaos, summon this, banish 2 more cards. So we banish these 2, keep the D-Mod on the field. So we go battle phase now, attack over the D-Mod. So we can go into the Gaze of Timaeus, enter Dragoon, and then his Link 1 is checked by the Called by the Grave. And I could have shuffled back the Climax here, but it doesn't matter because I have Dragoon here. And I still have like other cards as well. So he just surrenders here. Nice. So that was just game 1. I know, that was a long duel, but that's just game 1. Okay, game 2, he is going first again. So he is going to go for this. I wait for him to summon 2, and then just before he exceeds 8, goes into an exceeds 8, which he does play the Photon Lord, we are going to activate the full loss. Okay, so I was saving the Ash for the Orcust Harper, but because he goes Thrust, it's game 3. Sorry, it's game 2. Because it's game 2, he had the chance to actually side in cards. So I don't know what he sided in. He could be playing like a Floodgate that he could set immediately with a Thrust. Because why would you play Thrust if you're going first, right? So let's actually see what he has. I actually just don't know. So he can go into Solemn. No, he can't go Solemn. This is not a normal trap. Okay, that's kind of weird. He's going first, but he's playing like Harpy's Feather Duster for some reason. That makes no sense. I guess just set another Imperm. Okay, that's kind of weird. I don't know why you not side. Maybe he doesn't have a side deck. So I actually just ashed this instead, because if he goes Harp now, he's gonna start giving me cards because of the full loss. So most likely, he's gonna pass. And then he sets, which means I know he doesn't have a hand trap like Ash or Droll to stop my cards. This is most likely impermanence here. So immediately draw phase the Wanted, go into the Diabellstar, and now we can go, look at this, go Souls, dump the Swordman, summon the Souls, and then go Link 1, Anima suck him up, and then we, because we have an equipped card now, you can see like, hold on. Because this is equipped now, it's actually a card I control now. So I can actually send it for Diabellstar. This works like Poplar. So you send it to the grave and then you summon, and now I get to keep this. So if this is Imperm, which it is, he negates this, and then I can go D-Mod, and I also have an SP play if I want to, but I can go Cross Sheep, most likely, because he doesn't have any other interruptions. So he's going to go Imperm on this. This is completely fine. We go D-Mod, search the Gaze of Timaeus, and then we can go into Cross Sheep, go Gaze for this, summon the Dragoon, and then we trigger this, summon a Ash Blossom. Now, if I can normal summon this, and then go into like Chaos Angel if I want to, because I have a lot of like cards here. So we are gonna go Black Chaos, Mind Shuffle full combo basically, with the protection of Dragoon, which you know he doesn't have anything here to stop Dragoon. So we're gonna add back here, and then we are gonna go Ritual Spell. We can summon the Black. Okay, this was game this turn, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I do think this deck is very powerful, but I think Branded is slightly better. Okay. But yeah, either like if you want to play this or Branded, it doesn't make a difference. Both decks can top. Both decks can do very well, regardless. Okay. So I hope this video was informative. You got to like see a lot of like new lines that you didn't see before. Unfortunately, I didn't have like this never came up where I go into like this, as I said, which is why I cut the Protect Code Talker. But you know, it can definitely come up. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.